I mean now.
Hello, everyone. Oh, I'm seeing some chat. It's just
Hello.
us.
It's just
us.
just us talking to ourselves so far.
What's up, guys? Just standard sort of drill. Let me know if you guys can hear okay and audio's cool and everything. We're gonna get started and work on some lenses. And and like I said on Instagram, I don't know if you guys saw it, but we're gonna be giving away some film today. Right here. Audio is good. Thanks. Cool.
All right.
So at some point, probably towards the end of the stream, we're going to give away these 3 rolls of film. This is a brand new Kodak Ultramax, totally new. This stuff is expired. Trying to see if I can find a date. Yeah, so this stuff expired back in 2009, but it's kind of, this is just your standard sort of Superia 200. You'll probably get fine results with it. And this is some stuff that they don't really make anymore. So Super HQ, 100 speed. But anyway, yeah, so we'll give away some free film later on. Thanks for joining us and hanging around. Anyone that says anything in the chat will be automatically entered into winning those free film rolls. And that's so you don't really have to jump through any hoops to get it, but let's see. We do need to see you in the chat just so we can take a look and pick someone. So hey everyone. Hey Dave. What's going on, buddy? I'll be seeing you soon, hopefully. Still have plans, but life is a little bit tricky sometimes. Lunch with the Void, you can do that. That can be arranged.
Lunch with the Void. Yeah, we could probably do that.
So here's what we're going to be doing today. This is similar to some work that we've done in the past on this stream. This lens has an aperture problem. Oily aperture blade, sort of, kind of typical to a lot of these old lenses. So we're going to fix it, clean the blades, get those back to good. First time here on Twitch.
Cool.
Hey, good to see you. We're always happy when new people join up. Let me know if you want to chat about anything, if you have any questions about vintage cameras or lenses or photography or modern stuff, digital, whatever. Anything you want to chat about, we can do. And that's like I say every time we do one of these streams, that's the whole point of this, is to sort of chat with you guys. Fixing the cameras and stuff is cool, but it's kind of secondary to just sort of having a conversation with photo geeks. So let me know. Anything you want to talk about. Working at home, got a notification. Good. I'm working at home too. It's a good thing to do.
All right.
Kyle's with me.
Ready for action.
Hello. As always, most of the time. Not always, most of the time.
Most of the time.
He's going to be cleaning some cameras in the background here and responding to your questions in the chat and making sure I don't miss anything. So
it's a lot of multitasking.
Yeah.
See if I can keep up.
Can you paste that?
Oh yeah.
We're gonna paste a link to the article, the review of this lens that I wrote a little while ago. So anyone that's interested in this lens, click that and read it now while we're chatting, or read it after the stream or whatever. But it's a great standard lens, 50mm, 1.4, really sharp when you stop it down, and really nice bokeh, shot wide open. Very cool. Do I say planar or planar? Planar? I say planar. Zeiss planar. That's how I say it. I don't know if that's right. It's it's one of those things that you read a lot, but you don't really hear. Have you tried any foldable 120 cameras? Yeah, I've shot plenty of folding 120s. I've shot the Zeiss, the early Zeiss folders. They're really great image quality for not a lot of money. They can be a little bit slow, but you know any camera from that era tends to be a little bit slower. I've shot some really old Voigtlander 120 cameras. The names are escaping me, but any good recommendations? I can definitely give you some recommendations off the top of my head. It's like sort of escaping me, but look into the Zeiss folders. Those are sort of typically regarded as the best. And there's a guy I know who sort of that's his bread and butter. He has a blog where he writes about old film and cameras, you know, much like what we're doing. But he sort of seems to gravitate towards those old medium format folders. So his website, actually, can I type it in? I'll type a link into the chat. No, you can just leave it there. I'll just reach over.
Oh, sure. It's a very specific name.
It is, yeah. Okay, I copied that. Can you put that in the chat for me? Thanks. So we're gonna link to a website where the guy that runs this blog sort of seems to, like I said, seems to gravitate towards those folders, and he really knows what he's talking about regarding those. So check out his blog, and maybe you'll get some good information there.
There we go. All right, it's up.
I'm totally losing at what's let me just look back. No, go. Yeah. I just can't see everything. You say I just want to see the last few things.
Experience with both.
Sorry, just encroaching on you.
Don't mind.
Okay, that's cool.
Got it.
I saw a message about the dual range Summicron versus the rigid. That's interesting that you bring it up. I've just been shooting the dual range, and I've shot the rigid as well. And I think if you don't use the close-up function, I think I would opt for the standard Summicron for the same reasons that you mentioned. The focusing ring on the dual range is just kind of a little slower in my experience. I don't know if that's what you're experiencing too, but I mean, yeah, it's definitely not as smooth or sort of rapid, and sort of the, you know, shooting a 50, you kind of really want to have that quick focus. But that said, the dual range, I mean, I was shooting it over a recent holiday, and yeah, it was really nice. I mean, took some great shots. So I think the first thing we got to do to start working on this is remove this nameplate bezel here, and it should be just a spin-off.
So what's the matter with this lens? It's
just
oily?
Yeah, it just has the aperture blade problem.
Okay.
Oily aperture blades, everyone. We're going to try to fix it if I can. Yeah, the goggles, I don't know, man. I don't know about the goggles. They're cool, but it's just like another, you know, it's just another thing you got to carry around, and if you don't carry it around, then there's no reason to have the dual range, right? So, I mean, it's a cool lens, but I don't know. Goggles just kind of make it a little too clunky. Sometimes these are difficult to pull off. Just got to put some pressure on it. We've written about some of the Summicrons. I know we did the version 3, 50mm. Got an itchy leg right now, which is very uncool. Get some podcast people in here. I might have missed it. I might have missed it in the chat. Let me know what podcast you guys are running.
I think he said negatives, positives podcast. Yeah, someone's a co-host on it.
I think there was another one too, though. I think there were two. I think there's 2 podcasters in here.
Wow.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. There's a lot of really good film photography podcasts. We just talked to Analog Talk, and I was on their podcast earlier in the year or maybe last year, but we just talked to them. We're going to start supporting their podcast, so that's cool. I like what they're doing. And if anyone else is running a podcast and wants to chat, reach out, because I would love to be on some more podcasts. It's a lot of fun chatting about cameras and film and everything else. So. You guys run a great website. Thank you so much. Podcasters are, of course, interested. Thank you. It's awesome. I appreciate it. We're just trying to add something to the community, much like, many of you guys who are doing podcasts and stuff. So happy to do it. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm hoping, I haven't worked on this particular lens before, but I'm hoping that it's very similar to the other ones I've done. These sort of 50mm seem to all share very similar construction, so I'm hoping that when I remove the front element here, I'll be able to get access to the aperture assembly, or the iris, or the diaphragm, whatever you want to call it. There's a whole bunch of different terms for that. That's awesome. Christine's a cool chick and a really good photographer. I am often on her Instagram. She looks like she has fun with it too. Let's see. Kind of gross. There's like some debris coming out of this lens, which is weird. So I'll have to clean that.
Debris?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like some kind of black, like gross goo.
Oh, doesn't sound good.
No, you don't want black goo in your lens. So I'm pretty sure these 3 screws will end up popping out this front element here. Interning at Cinestill, I read. Where is Cinestill? Where are they based out of? I feel like it must be in California. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think they sent us some film a while ago. what was it? 800T, I think, was the one that we wrote about. We want to get some more too. Cinestill stuff was nice. I liked the halos that you get from light sources. Pretty somewhat unique nowadays. Have I shot a 28 to 85? No, I have not. Sorry about that. I wish I had, so that I could talk to you about it, give some recommendations, but I've never used that one. I am, for better or worse, I tend to be a prime guy. There are only a few legacy zooms that I've used that I've been happy with. One of which is the Contax 35, or whatever you want to call it, Zeiss 35 to 70 for the G system. But yeah, I tend to gravitate more towards primes, like a lot of people, I think. But I know, for video, zoom is very good to have. So those 3 screws are out. I think I can just lift this front element.
How's that going?
It's all right. It's not coming out yet. Oh, wow. That's an entire assembly.
Huh.
Did not expect that. It's fine though.
Did it just pull right out, or did you have to unscrew some things?
Yeah, I unscrewed it.
After the nameplate came off?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of gross. This is a good sort of, I don't know if you guys can see all the oil on there, but there's oil all over this lens assembly here. This whole group has oil on the outside, and that's the problem. Oil has seeped in here to the aperture and gotten on the aperture blade, so that's what we're trying to fix. Just want to make sure I know what I'm doing here as far as where everything is supposed to go. Right, so if that goes on right there. I always like to sort of take it slow and position things in a way that I know they go back together, this way or that. So
I don't know who Graham is.
this is American Graham. Alright, I think if I put that on F16, stop that down all the way.
F16. Is it easier to have it open the whole way, or stop down, I guess?
What I'm doing is just making sure I know how to put it back together before I get any further.
Oh, okay.
So now I think, so that's where it would go. Now this should open. Yeah. Okay. And that's the blade actuator, or the, I think I just made that term up. That's fine though. Okay, cool. So you can see when I put that in there, more oil sort of appeared. So we can see that there's a bunch of oil inside here. I don't know if you guys can see it in the stream, but there's a bunch of oil inside here on the interior of the focusing helicoid, which shouldn't be there. And that's sort of going to be the first step. We're just going to clean that, get all that oil out of there.
All right, let's see. Someone, Mendoza says, best bang for your buck, contacts or Yashica CY lens? I think it was Yashica, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, for sure the Yashica lenses are cheaper. And by that I mean less expensive to buy.
But they have good quality.
Yeah, fantastic image quality. Nothing wrong with them. You'll definitely get sort of the Zeiss snobs that tell you otherwise, right? Like, oh, there's nothing better than a Zeiss lens. But check. I mean, here you go. This is a Zeiss planar 51.4, and if I can just direct your attention here. Lens made in Japan, so it's not like you're buying a high-end German lens. It's you know, it's kind of all the same. People talk about the rendering and Zeiss 3D pop and all that stuff, but a lot of it is, in my opinion, sort of psychological. You know, you buy an expensive lens and you sort of imbue it with this sort of in your mind, this impressive stature.
Yeah, it's definitely got to do with name brand, I think.
Yeah, you'll be just as happy with a Yashica lens. Those lenses are fantastic.
That's what I use. So
yeah,
it's always done me well.
Yeah, they're great. The only real, you know, sort of quantifiable difference is maybe in the, you know, you buy a Zeiss lens, you get the T-star coating, which is, you know, there's something to be said for that coating. I've gotten some of my best pictures from Zeiss lenses. Some of the pictures I'm most sort of, I guess, happy with or proud of. But yeah, this Yashica lenses are great.
What about contacts lenses? The one they talked about.
Well, I think their contacts mount, so it's a CY mount.
Ah,
right. It's those two lenses fit contacts cameras.
Let's see. Am I mistaken in thinking that Kyocera has licensed the used Zeiss at some point? I don't know. Has Kyocera done that?
No, you're not mistaken at all. It was Kyocera got the rights to the Zeiss, or to the contacts name. I think, if I'm remembering right, this is sort of like hazy history, but I think Yashica acquired Kyocera, something like that, or maybe the other way around. But yeah, so the Contacts T series, those were, you know, Kyocera products. The G series, pretty sure those were Kyocera products. Look at any of them and they all say made in Japan, so Contacts has not been sort of a, you know, quote unquote German company or German brand name for a very long time. Zeiss licensed them out a long time ago. And there's a rumor about Contacts that I don't know if I'm going to talk about here. I don't know if I should. I know that's enticing. I probably shouldn't have said anything, but
you're gonna say something now.
There's a rumor. There's a rumor I've heard about who currently owns the rights to the Contacts name, and it's not Zeiss. Well, it is Zeiss, but Zeiss has licensed. You know, the rumor is that Zeiss has licensed it to someone, and it's kind of a strange. It's kind of a strange situation that I can't confirm. I've tried to confirm it many times, and been unable to, so I can't really say anything more than that, but every now and then you hear about Contax cameras coming back, you know, like, oh, there's going to be a new Contax camera this year or next year or whatever, but it just never really seems to happen.
Just like Polaroid did a while back. Rosario says.
Yeah, Polaroid is the same. Well, not the same. I mean, similar situation.
People just tried to rebrand it, right?
Well,
they weren't anything big originally.
Well, Polaroid went out of, you know, basically.
Didn't they go bankrupt in like 2001 or something?
It was later than that. 2008.
Oh, I thought they tried to like come back in 2008 and went out again.
I know a investment firm bought them based out of New Jersey, bought the brand name and the assets, and now they're with Impossible Project. Some of this legal stuff, it's you know, kind of a rabbit hole. You can read all about it and chase it and all that, but it doesn't mean much, I guess.
Your computer will restart in 52 seconds. Please don't. Install tonight. Thank you. Let's see.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Cosina, I'm pretty sure Cosina makes the Voigtlander lenses. I wouldn't be surprised if Cosina's manufacturing Zeiss's lenses. Cosina has always kind of been that sort of, like, you know, doing work for other brands type of thing, rebranding cameras. Yeah, Dave makes a good point. There, you get to a sort of realm of diminishing returns, right? Trying to determine where this spring is supposed to attach. Pretty sure it's right here. This spring accidentally came off when I was cleaning that oil. These are the kinds of problems that you encounter working on these things. You got to be very sort of methodical and careful, and I wasn't paying attention the way I should, so now I'm paying for it. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm just going to try to maneuver this spring back into place so we can get back on track and
Did it just like pull out of wherever it was?
Get some work done.
In?
Yeah, it grabbed the cloth that I was sort of
okay.
wiping the oil with. If I was a trained Cosina worker, wouldn't be a problem. Oh, it's so annoying. How's that Polaroid going?
It's going alright. The last one was pretty gross. That thing looked like it had been sitting around for some time.
Yeah.
This one's alright though. This one's pretty good condition.
Okay, I think I have the method here. I'll get it.
I'd offer help, but I think another pair of hands would be a hindrance.
Yeah, probably.
Something that small.
Bulimic Unicorn. Hello, thanks for joining us for the first time. I appreciate it. Today we're working on a Zeiss planar 50mm 1.4 in Contax CY mount. We're just going to clean the diaphragms of oil. some of the focusing oil has seeped into the diaphragm. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Right now we're working on getting a spring into position because I sort of made a mistake. Pulled a spring off where I shouldn't have. But we can do it. We've done it before. Oh, that was close.
What?
I almost got it. And then I didn't. So delicate. It's horrible.
Do you know where it has to connect to at least? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry guys, getting messages here. Try to figure out what this is real quick.
Want me to give that a shot?
We have a casual photophile be the spring. I'm gonna try. We have a casual photophile WhatsApp group where myself and the other writers sort of communicate and plan the editorial calendar and all that stuff. And they were just chatting in there about an article that they were reading, and I told them to join. I told them to get in here and join the live stream and chat with you guys. So maybe we'll have some other writers popping in soon. So that might be cool. You guys can talk to maybe Josh and Chris and Jeb, and Dustin's, I don't know, maybe probably working his real life job, but so just, yeah, keep a lookout. Maybe you'll see some names that you recognize from the website. You can tell them that you didn't like their most recent article. Or whatever you want. I read your most recent article, Josh, and it was utter garbage. Oh, I got it. That was the best thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's sad.
I have children too.
What'd you do? Just grab it on the whatever hook it was going to?
Yeah, that was the best. I feel so fulfilled right now.
Nice. That is the point of this whole stream.
Well, yeah. You guys are talking about sort of like, well, it seems like I haven't been able to watch the chat too closely because of this spring that I'm dealing with, but it seems like you guys are kind of talking about the difference between a perfect lens and, you know, a lens with character, and I'll weigh in on that a little bit. I vastly prefer a lens with a little character. I kind of couldn't care less about sharpness. I mean, I know in all of our lens reviews we have to talk about, you know, is this lens sharp or is it soft or whatever, but when I'm shooting for myself, I'm not at all concerned with that, really. Some of my best photos have been sort of blurry, out of focus, showing movement, you know. because that's kind of what life is. Life is always in motion, and it's never perfect. And if you want perfectly sharp photos, you should be shooting digital anyway. That's kind of what I think about it. Seems to be working correctly. There's a very slight amount of oil on these aperture blades. Not a lot. It's almost so little that I wasn't sure if I wanted to even take it apart, but this is a lens that's going to be listed in our store along with the camera that it came on, this really nice 159 mm. And we don't really, I mean, we don't list things that aren't in basically perfect condition, or at least completely functional, so there's really no choice. I had to take it apart, but I'm gonna go grab a marker so I can make some index marks on these elements. I want to just make sure I know where everything goes. I'm gonna look for a silver marker. Kyle can entertain you.
Oh, I'll try. Yeah, sorry, I'm not doing anything really interesting over here, just cleaning some Polaroid cameras. I think we just got them in last week, a whole lot of them, so we have a lot of work ahead of us. There he goes. Let's see. Hello, Inge87. Welcome to the stream. Or maybe it's not your first time in the stream, but to the chat. How does the community encourage great camera repair people out there to take on apprentices? How does the community encourage? That's a good question. Great camera repair people out there to take on apprentices. I don't know. I feel like it's a very niche thing. Finding apprentices in this workspace is kind of difficult. I know I just kind of fell into it because I knew Jim beforehand. You want to try answering that?
What?
Most recent question by Andre.
Hey, it's Jeb. Ing87. That's going to be our writer, Jeb. So,
oh, okay.
If you guys have read any articles from Jeb, that's the guy that wrote them. Oh, and Chris Cushing. You guys know Chris. He's there too. How does the community encourage the great camera repair people out there to take on apprentices?
That's kind of what, I don't know, it's a tough question.
It's an interesting question.
Yeah.
I imagine it would just have to be a case-by-case basis, right?
I was going to say, I think it's circumstantial.
Yeah, so, I mean, I've known a lot of camera repair guys, people that are actually do this for a living, and some of them are a little cranky and old and crusty, right? And some of them are definitely more approachable. It's a good question. I don't know if it's a question I can really answer. I feel like it's more, like I said, a case-by-case sort of circumstantial thing. If you live near someone who knows how to repair cameras, just walk in and see if they'll do it. But yeah, I don't have much of an answer beyond that.
I feel like it's getting harder as time goes on too. It's
becoming
a more dated hobby.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's probably why the question is asked, right? Because you want to keep this going. We're going to need someone to repair these cameras, right? But repairing these things, I mean, it's not as difficult as you might think. Some of the electronic ones obviously are going to be more difficult, but there's a theory that I've back in my academic days where I can't remember who said it, but the theory sort of posited that anything that humans have ever done is still being done today, and it will continue to be done forever. It's just somewhere in the world, and in some sort of capacity. So I don't know if that makes you more optimistic, but someone will always be repairing film cameras.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
And
there's a lot of people out there. We have a lot of different interests.
Yeah, and we talked about this in the stream before. We might be getting some new. Well, we're certainly getting some new film cameras. For sure, at least one with the reflex camera that's coming out this year. If everything is on track. We had an interview with Lawrence, the founder of Reflex, and great guy, and he's really doing some good work. So we're looking forward to that. We've backed that project on Kickstarter, and we'll be one of the first people to get our hands on the, if not a prototype, certainly the finished version. You've also got things being said from Bellamy at Japan Camera Hunter, who, by all accounts, is planning to design and build and release a sort of premium compact camera. So got a new one of those coming. There are all kinds of craftsmen making pinhole cameras and medium format machines that may not be as sort of like approachable to a new shooter, but still doing it. But yeah, the new box one. Let's read about this. Yeah, if anyone yells at you for going into their business, I would turn around and go to a different one.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't approach anyone like that.
Hello, Yarrow B. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, the new box one. We were talking to those guys. I don't know if you work for them, but we wanted to do a write-up on that, but it just sort of hasn't happened yet. We can certainly do that, especially if you're connected with the company. Let's make it happen. Let's move all this stuff closer so you guys can see it.
So how far along are you in that right now?
I'm at the diaphragm now. So you can see
cool.
the aperture assembly there, diaphragm or iris. It's called many things, as I mentioned. But you can see there's just a tiny bit of oil on the very ends of the blades, and I kind of want to clean that off. I don't know if I'm going to totally disassemble this. Like I said, it's not that bad. It's actually actuating. It's actuating pretty quickly. I just want to kind of clean off that tiny bit of oil that you can see. So we can try to do that. I think this front element should spin off as well. It's not coming easily. It doesn't have spanner marks, which is unusual. Usually these will have a spot for a spanner wrench, but it must attach in a different way. And it looks to me like this entire assembly would come out if I remove this retaining ring here. So we might do that. We'll think about it. I'm sorry, I'm just reading a rather hilarious message. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, mailing the stuff in is good. You just got to find the right guy. I know there's a Pentax repair guy that I've mailed some stuff to. He's awesome. There are plenty of really excellent repair people out there, and they're still at it full time. So it's not like it's rare. I think a lot of the internet stuff that you read makes it seem like it's a dying art, or that it's hard to get certain things repaired. I know for a fact I read I read and saw YouTube videos and you know, all kinds of things about the Minolta CLE, which if you guys are fans of the website, you'll know is one of my favorite cameras. But I can't tell you how many times I read or heard that camera's irreparable. You can't repair it if it breaks. You know, no one will touch them. All this other stuff. There's no parts. You know, they're all too electronic. All that stuff. And that sort of, I had the feeling that couldn't possibly be true. So I ended up sending a message to, I think, 8 or 10 random repair places that I just pulled off the internet, and a couple who I've dealt with personally and you know that they do good work. And I just asked them, you know, I have a Minolta CLE, it's broken, can you guys repair it? And literally every single one said yes, no problem. And one guy went so far as to say he gave me a very nicely worded answer that you know, he's repaired many of them, and I told him what was wrong with this one, and it was literally the thing that everyone says you know can't be repaired. One of the flexible circuit boards. I can't remember what they're called. What are those called? Flexible circuit boards? PCB?
I don't know.
Anyway,
Not sure.
One of the circuit boards was fried. For some reason, I don't know why, but he said that there was 100% possibility of success in repairing it. So my point is, you know, don't believe everything you hear on the internet regarding, you know, cameras and repairs and all this other stuff. So don't worry, I guess is what I'm saying. Don't worry if you're interested in getting into shooting, but you think maybe if your camera breaks, you'll be out of luck. You'll be okay. I do, yeah, I do love the ones that can be repaired, but mostly because I think they can. But they're also fantastic. I mean, the G2, I would live with the G2 as my only camera forever. So good. Oh, I see. So that retaining ring, that just holds in.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Kyle says he'll be right back. Oh, that spring came off again. What a nightmare.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm gonna start cleaning up these blades. Just gonna use a little alcohol. We're gonna use a Q-tip, and then we're gonna use a blower to sort of make that stuff evaporate as quickly as possible. What if there are bugs inside the lens? Do you mean you mean insects? What kind of bug I think it depends on what kind of bug it is. I would just go with it. Just shoot it, see what kind of effects you get. You know, like create an entirely new sort of type of photography. It'll be like prism photography, except with a ladybug. It'd be like the new bokeh. Hashtag bugshot. Hashtag shot with bug. But then you would have people arguing about, like, you know, is an aphid better than a ladybug? Is a, you know, what does the sort of rendering of a katydid compare to a gnat? I don't know if you want to get involved in that. Yeah, the Leica Tambar is basically a lens with a bug in it, right? That thing's absurd. Before we started doing the live stream, we were doing a podcast, and we only did like 3 episodes. We were sort of testing it and releasing it to our Patreon subscribers, sort of like test the waters, you know, see what kind of product we could put out. In the end, we sort of determined like we like this idea a little bit better, because it lets us chat directly with you guys rather than just talking into a microphone and then having you guys listen. So that's kind of why we went with the live stream. Plus, there are a lot of podcasts out there that are doing, you know, really fantastic work, especially in like film photography and photography in general. So we figured like you guys were already getting that from other sources, and our product wasn't going to ever be as good as some of these other podcasts because, you know, they've been doing it for years, and our whole thing is sort of editorial, and that's time consuming. So we write articles, and that takes a lot of time. But anyway, we talked about the Tambar in one of our test episodes, and I don't think that test episode actually was ever released, but we were just kind of talking about like the ridiculous price and, you know, the results that you get from it, and I don't know, just sort of our thoughts on that lens. And it was an interesting episode. Uh, like you can probably imagine what we said, given our, I don't know, typical response to like a snobbery stuff. Hey, Andre, thanks for hanging out with us for a bit. Have fun shooting that. I hope you make some good shots, and have a good lunch, bud. I'll see you next week, maybe. This conversation got a little off track, I think. But that's okay. That's what we like. I think I just noticed definitely not Josh is definitely Josh from our writing team. I didn't see him come in, but if you guys know Josh's writing, there he is. Definitely not Josh. Tell him. Say hi. Tell him you want more. What are you working on, Josh? Why don't you tell us what you're working on right now? As far as stuff for the site, I think you're doing a pretty cool article coming up, right? We've got some good articles coming up. You guys are gonna like them. Got some really interesting, in-depth stuff.
Where'd you put the rest of the Polaroids to clean? Are there any more in the other room?
How many did you clean? There were only 4, right?
4, I think.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it?
Yeah,
Maybe
there's
a lot more.
no, there's not right now.
Oh.
We'll do it after the stream. Did you do the that knicker mat?
Yeah, that lens had some fungus in it though.
Really?
So I'm gonna wait on that one.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
It's a
Camera's
really
all set.
really
The camera
nice
body was
lens.
fine. It's just the lens.
It's a good lens.
Yeah.
Nikkor 24 millimeter. It's a nice one. You're definitely not working on a really in-depth, long-form retrospective on the Nikon F and how important it was to photography in general and all of the most important events of the 20th century. Every single one of them. Good, because I don't want to read that. Glad you're not working on it.
Cool stuff. So how's the lens going?
It's going all right. Sort of cleaning this oil.
Are you not?
Incrementally. I'm not taking apart the whole diaphragm. I don't think it needs it.
No, that's what you did the last one, right?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago? Right.
So we'll just kind of evaporate all that alcohol and put it back together, test it. I'll probably test this lens for a little while, a week or so, make sure everything's cool before it gets listed.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
I need some more Q-tips. I have to run upstairs. But yeah, the after we list it, we'll test it first before we list it. All the stuff we sell in the store sort of comes with a guarantee anyway, so if anyone has a problem with a product they buy from us, we'll take care of it. Just get in touch. But it's looking good. I'm gonna run up and get some more Q-tips. Kyle.
All right.
Kyle has the helm.
Yep. Well, I guess I'm out of Polaroids to work on now. Thought we had more, so now I'll be extra useless and just comment on whatever Jim's working on. Anyone have any more questions or anything? Let's see. It's just not a bad one. It's a lot of lag I'm seeing. I'm watching the stream right now. It's like a 15-second delay. Just enough time for Jim to get back. Tags implemented.
Animal House? That's been a while. I don't think Kyle was even born.
Oh my god, no, I remember that movie.
Oh, okay.
What's his name?
Belushi?
Is that the name?
Am I wrong? Dave will let us know.
I have no idea. I don't know actors too well.
Kyle was born in 2012.
Yeah, I'm only 6, actually.
It's very weird. He's very advanced for his age. '78 or '79? No, I wasn't born. I wasn't born then.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different movie then.
Probably. Was it John Belushi? Jim Belushi? I can't remember.
It's 78, someone said. Yeah, it was a while ago. And John Belushi.
It was forever ago. Jeez, it's ancient.
That's 40 years ago. No, that's crazy.
That is kind of crazy. I am getting a little bit older. You think about stuff like that, and it's like, wow, that was 20 years ago. I'm almost dead. We're getting there. I'm just cleaning off, getting this alcohol to evaporate, and then we're gonna put this back together.
So that whole piece just kind of fell out of the that assembly right there?
Oh, it didn't fall out.
Okay.
Let's.
You gently slid
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of the assembly.
No, I know what I'm doing. Oh, there we go.
I was 10, so careful with the ancient stuff.
Elliot Photo, thanks for joining. Glad you were able to make it. I've said this to everyone already, but anything you want to chat about, just go for it. We'll answer any questions or comments in the chat. Be about photography, about ancient movies made in the 70s, like Star Wars. One thing that's tough, I get a lot of messages while we're doing this, so I'm like kind of pulled
keep your eye on
in
a lot of things.
Multiple directions here. Just looking at I guess they just like the look of us. Just got
good.
High fives for our live video.
Oh, nice. Okay. James just wants to talk about Star Wars. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. You could say that about me at any time, and be accurate. My friend John is usually in the stream watching, and him and his kids are big Star Wars nerds, so I don't know if he's in here, but the guy that was friends with Lando was named Lobot. Just want you to know. And I hope he makes an appearance in the new Solo movie. Don't you?
No, not really. I hold no preference.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like I'm one of the few that aren't in on the Star Wars.
Oh yeah, you're fired.
Yeah.
See you later. Guys, you're never gonna see Kyle here again. Hope you enjoyed him.
What did you think of the latest movie? Which one was the latest one? Was that The Last Jedi?
Yeah, it was. I liked it. I mean, I know the internet would have you think that everyone hated that movie, right? But I actually liked it, so I enjoyed the new direction, and it'll be interesting to see where J.J. Abrams takes it now that he's back for the third one.
Has he not been on some of the recent ones?
He did the first one, and then for the second one they got a different writer and director, a guy named Rian Johnson.
Second one being Rogue One? Or?
No. Oh, please, Kyle.
What do you mean?
Kyle, you're embarrassing yourself, Kyle. And we're talking the new trilogy. The Rogue One was a spin-off, if you will.
Okay.
Part of the Sorry, getting that spring. Okay.
Did it fall out again?
Yes.
Oh my god. You gotta be careful.
I think there's another trilogy. Rogue One is sort of like a spin-off trilogy. Rogue One, Solo, and then something else. I don't know if they've announced what it is yet.
Yeah.
Everybody says it's going to be an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie.
Kyle, you're out of your element. Yeah, it's accurate. I don't know anything about Star Wars other than
But Rian Johnson.
pretty much nothing.
Not to interrupt you there. We'll educate you on Star Wars. Rian Johnson, the writer and director of the latest Star Wars movie. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's sort of on social media and stuff like that. I mean, if you watched interviews too with him, he's a film guy and he shoots a Leica M6, and he shoots a lot of black and white film. I know he shot some Tri-X and some of the new P3200, which we wrote about. And I think that's cool. I mean, you see him, like I think I saw him on I don't know, Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show or something, and he had his camera with him. He just like pulls out an M6 and starts shooting the crowd and shooting Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, whoever it was.
It's kind of cool. Dude,
And
you can never see anyone getting interviewed do that.
yeah, it was very weird, but it was awesome. I mean, it's like, oh my God. So I'm following him on Instagram now, and he's always posting black and white shots of like behind the scenes from the movie, from the press tour afterwards,
Huh.
and from just his life, I assume, just random, film shots, which is awesome.
Oh, here's another uh, camera relevant question. What is the best sub $100 camera you'd buy? So, is that like
Oh,
SLR or point and shoot? Just any camera?
well, if we're talking best, I would automatically have to go with an SLR or a
Yeah.
rangefinder, just because for my personal preference, I'm not a huge point and shoot fan. I know they're popular right now, but just for if you're asking me, I'm gonna say that I'm not super into the point and shoots. But so the best sub $100. We've written articles on the website about finding the best film camera for under 100, under $50. I mean, we've written a lot of articles like that. So check them out on the website. But to answer your question here, there are so many. There are so many amazing cameras you can buy for under $100. And that's why most people get into film photography in the first place. I think is that it's a well, one of the reasons I think is because it's a very cost-effective way of getting a really high-end camera for very little money. So Minolta X700, you can get those for $50 if you're careful and patient and find it. Get a little lucky. Um, that camera's fantastic, especially for new people. It has multiple shooting modes, some of the best lenses in the world with the Minolta Rocore series and the later MDs. So Minolta X700, I'll just throw some more out real quick. I tend to prefer aperture priority shooting, so I'm kind of thinking like what other aperture priority cameras are there, but you can get full manual cameras for under $100. Everybody always talks about the Pentax K1000. It's a good camera. It's not one of my personal favorites, but it's certainly nothing wrong with it. What else? Pentax has ME Super Program. There's some Ricoh cameras,
Yeah.
Ricoh KRs.
I'm a fan of Pentax. I don't use them too much, but every one that I see here,
Yeah,
they're pretty.
yeah, they're
built.
great.
I like those ones a lot, and they don't go for too much.
They're small and strong, and again, really great lenses.
I like the build of what is it, the P30, P30N. I don't know if that's sub 100, but
Oh, it definitely is.
is it? That was like a very impressive looking camera, the matte finish.
Yeah, nobody talks about that because it's just kind of a sleeper. There's a series of Pentax cameras called P30s or the P3, and there's a later version called the T, which is interesting and has sort of a nice finish, but uses all Pentax K-mount lenses, so you can get like those fantastic SMC lenses, and you can get those. You can pick those cameras up for like $30.
That's how cheap they go for? That's
Yeah. If you go on eBay or whatever, you'll find it for like
right.
$30. We sell them for a little more than that in the shop because they're cleaned and tested and guaranteed. So you kind of pay a little bit more than you would on eBay for that sort of peace of mind of if it breaks in 2 months or whatever, you can send it and we'll take care of it. So, but yeah, P30s, P3s. Olympus cameras tend to be a little bit pricier, like the OM series. You could maybe get like an OM10 for under $100.
Spotmatic, Super. What about Contacts?
Yes, Spotmatics. Contacts.
Are they normally just more?
I would say they're a little bit more.
Yeah.
But you could go the Yashica route, like the Yashica FX series, which are essentially the same as the Contacts SLRs with the CY mount. Get those for under $100. I mean, I'm kind of inundating you with a lot here.
Everyone in the chat is too.
Yeah.
Someone else said the Yashica FX too. So
yeah, so it's like
votes.
I guess the takeaway is there are hundreds of cameras for under $100 that will work for the next 15 years and do everything that you want them to do. So that's what's great, like I said, about film cameras and shooting film. So.
Yeah, a few people are saying the X700s are nice. I agree with that. I like those ones a lot. Building them.
Yeah, the capacitor is the first stream.
That's what we did, right?
Yeah, the first live stream we did in this sort of thing that we're doing was a X700 capacitor repair, and we failed. We weren't able to fix the camera. However, the
I think we
camera's
got the polarity wrong.
yeah, the camera's
probably.
still sitting over here, and we think we know what we did wrong with the soldering, so we're gonna eventually get into it and do it again, and hopefully we can fix it. And we'll do another X700 down the road because I right over here you can't see, but I have
Yeah, we got quite a few of those.
plenty of X700s that need some work.
110s, when is that skill?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. That the OM10 is a good camera for beginners, but if you get that manual adapter, it turns into a great camera for beginners. It's not as durable as obviously the single digit OMs, the OM1 or the OM2, 3 or 4, but yeah, nothing wrong with it. I mean, it'll work fine.
I like that name, exposure therapy. That's creative.
Definitely not Josh. Yeah, if you flip the camera around, it should work. Yes, I think so. I think it will. We just haven't gotten around to it. We're gonna do it. God, lay off of me. Just kidding, Josh. All right, let's try to put this back together and see if we've fixed it, or at least made it better. I know we didn't take the entire diaphragm apart, but I don't think it needed it. There wasn't very much oil in there in the first place.
Yeah, it wasn't like the last one we fixed, right?
Yeah, just a little bit. But we'll test this one for quite some time before doing anything with it. And if I need to take it apart completely, I'll do that too. It's just see. Yep, it's opening. Okay. That's fine. It seems to be working.
Someone said a Nikon EM could work too.
Yeah, the EM is a good camera. It's aperture priority only, which is fine for me. Like I said, I prefer aperture priority shooting, so that's not a problem. But for some people, that might be a problem if they don't like using aperture priority mode, or they're looking for a full manual camera. It has a mechanical 1/90th of a second mechanical shutter speed, but it's just one speed is mechanical, so you can't adjust the speed on its own, shutter speed. But yeah, it's a great camera. I mean, it's like really cheap, and the 50 millimeter Series E 1.8 lens that most of those come with is a fantastic lens for the money, especially if you're shooting it at f2 or f2.8, super sharp, really small. It's like everybody calls it a pancake lens. It's not really a pancake lens, but it's small enough almost to be called that. Yeah, the FG is fantastic. I think that was Josh's first film camera, actually. So he has a definite connection with that one. It might be a moon pie, yeah, whoopie pie. Maybe a waffle. Belgian waffle. Be a Belgian waffle lens. Those are a little thicker.
Forget about the ducks in this article.
I try to put photos of ducks in every article that I write.
You should continue that. It's a good trend to have.
Yeah. You guys want more duck pictures? You could send that link again.
Yeah, I was just going to actually.
If you guys want to check out this lens, the review that we wrote about this lens that we're repairing, Kyle's going to send that link over.
There we go. Just did. So
You can see the duck that we're talking about.
let's see the featured duck, or two different ducks actually. There
Yep.
are two ducks in one
There's
article.
2 ducks in that article. If you want to see more ducks, you can go to our Kodak Ektar film profile. I happen to know that there's a duck picture in there.
You remember what articles you featured ducks in?
Yes.
That's good.
The ducks are, I mean, I don't want to say core to who I am, but pretty much.
They're definitely pretty close, if you remember.
I remember my entire life in ducks. My wife is like, hey, do you remember the honeymoon we went on?
He's like, oh, yeah.
Like, when was that? Was that the mallard or was that the wood duck? Do you remember that we saw the wood duck? It was the wood duck.
Which one has goats? Ooh.
Actually,
What kind of animal?
I know I'm kind of joking around about the duck thing, but I just realized that the moment that I proposed to my wife, a duck bit me on the ass because we were on a
it's such a specific.
we were on a beach in Florida, and I was like, yeah, this is the time to propose. And I did, and like as I was in the middle of proposing,
a duck on a beach
I just felt this like,
up.
oh, what the hell was that? Turn around, there's just this duck pecking at me.
That's really bad luck.
Bad duck.
That's a bad duck. Well, it worked out.
There were 2 ducks. One was keeping its distance. The other one thought I had some food on me or something.
It's trying to eat the.
Because it was at a place where the people always feed the ducks, and the ducks are very, I don't want to say
proactive.
Yeah, I don't want to say aggressive, but yeah.
We'll say proactive.
They're in there.
Must have been an omen.
Which one has the goats? There were some goats. What was it? It was
I have no idea.
Canon, I think. Canon FD 24, maybe? Oh, that's a nice bokeh. Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah, look at those.
That's beautiful.
It's pretty good.
Sometimes I forget what a great job we do on our website.
Definitely wasn't conceited in any way. Pay here. I like the polarity in the chat. Half of it is about animals, the other is about cameras.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what we do.
Yeah, we're kind of prioritizing animals right now, though. I like this right now.
Did you take pictures of goats, Chris, in any of your write-ups? I don't know. I know I definitely took a picture of a goat. I think it was a Canon FD 24 Prime review that I did a while ago. Kyle could search it if he was so inclined.
I might be.
Might as well. This lens is fixed, so we might as well just chat.
What'd you say it was? A Canon
FD 24 millimeter.
24 millimeter.
He's just using our beautiful new search feature.
It's pretty good. It doesn't have
that one right there.
Context-sensitive search, though.
Come on.
You gotta get that.
Come on.
Alright, I better see a goat here.
Keep going. I think there's a really nice picture of.
There's a dog. That's a good dog.
The Bruins, where the Bruins play.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a good one. TD Garden.
Yeah,
okay.
That's my favorite.
That's a good one. There's a lot of people in there. Ooh.
Oh, I was wrong.
No goats.
No goats. I'll have to do some research and figure out which one we had goat pictures.
If I search goat on your website, do you think anything would come up?
Greatest of all time?
Yeah, there's actually 3 articles that came up with goat. The Zeiss icon is one.
Now I want to know. I want to know which one we had goats in.
Well, it wasn't the Zeiss icon.
Just go to lens reviews. Click up at the top. There you go.
Oh, hey, there I am, featured right at the top. That's cool.
You know, my daughter, every time she sees the website, because that's like a featured post right now, It's like right there on the front page. She says Kyle's hands.
Does she
It's
really?
weird, right?
That
Like
is
how would
weird.
she know?
How does she know that's? Well, I do wear the same. I'm not wearing it today, but
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
kind of my look, I guess. I've got my watch.
Yeah, scroll down. I want to see some more lenses. I think keep going, keep going, keep going, keep. Whoa, whoa, too far.
Oh, I don't
Whoa,
know.
whoa.
So keep going. Like I should just
No,
flip to
keep
the bottom.
go up a little. Yeah, go back more. Go to the next page of the archive.
All right.
I want to answer some questions. Go to page 2. Do we have a podcast? Oh, I think Chris found it.
No way.
Yeah, click on the chat, the one in chat that Chris put up.
Let's see.
Did you find it, Chris? Is this my goat pick? Oh, I see. I knew it was a 24. I thought it was the Canon 24.
Oh, there it is. Okay. That's a good one.
That's a big goat.
Those teeth are terrifying.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Check out that link. Check out that link that Chris posted in the chat to see some terrifying goat teeth.
God, they've got weird eyes.
Yeah, they
Look
do.
at that. It's just horizontal.
Yeah. That was a cool lens. You could get it had a extremely close minimum focus distance, so you could just get right up to whatever your subject was, and it would do like this distortion thing because it's a 24.
Right up to a goat.
Pretty awesome.
Take a closer,
Anyway.
sharp one. Oh, there's another one.
2 goats in that link.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the majestic goat.
Yeah, that one looks
That
a
was-
lot nicer.
That was the one where he was literally standing on me.
Okay, yeah, he
No.
still got a weird eye. Was he standing on
No.
you? Okay.
There's an otter. Yeah, there's a beautiful otter.
Oh, I clicked away from it. That's cool.
Anyway, I want to answer the question. Someone asked, do we have a podcast? I talked about this early in the stream, so I'll just hit it really quick. We did a podcast test for 3 episodes that we released to our Patreon subscribers. And that was to sort of see like what kind of product we could put out as far as, a podcast, would it be worth listening to or entertaining for people? After a few episodes, we kind of had this idea where we were going to do a live stream. And we sort of like the live stream idea better because it lets us actually chat with you guys rather than just sort of record ourselves and then, releasing it for people to listen to. So we kind of like this idea where we could kind of interact with people a little bit more. Plus, we were going to be repairing some stuff, which could also help people who need to repair things. And it also helps the shop because we get more inventory in the shop when I, successfully repair something. We can then sell it in the shop. And that's sort of what keeps all of this stuff going is the sales through the shop. So to answer your question, we don't have a podcast. We're doing the live stream thing now. However, there are many, many podcasts out there that you should listen to. There's Analog Talk, there's Sunny 16, there's some ones that were mentioned here in the chat actually. So if you guys are still in here, just mention your podcasts. There's a bunch of people doing really amazing podcasts for photographers and film photographers specifically. So check those out. We're supporting some of those. We're going to start doing some promotions on the website about podcasts. And we're actually actively supporting Analog Talk because they're kind of new and we're going to help them get going. But yeah, long answer to an easy question. But no, we don't have a podcast. we have this, what you're seeing now. So
as close as we get. I remember this. We went to North End. Is that tower we almost made it to?
Yep.
And they stopped us from going up.
Yeah, there's some really, really great places to take pictures of in Boston.
Yeah.
Really sort of picturesque. I mean, just like any city, right? But this is the city I know, so. But yeah, so guys, we've fixed this lens. We're gonna test the lens quite a bit, a couple weeks probably, make sure everything's good. And if I have to dive into it again, I will. But as of right now, it's working fine, actuating perfectly. There's no oil or anything. So, but yeah, we've fixed something. If you guys have anything you want to say before we get going, feel free to chat now. If you got anything you want to ask or any comments or questions about photography, cameras, film. What me and Kyle are going to have for lunch?
That's a good question. I want to know the answer to that one.
Yeah, I do too, actually. We're going to have a little confab.
Let's see. Oh, we also got the giveaway thing.
So that's right, yeah. So
say something.
Like I said, we're going to give away these 3 rolls of film. And anyone who's been in the chat at any point during this is has a potential to win these 3 rolls of film. We go through and sort of look at everybody that commented, and we try to pick someone randomly. I said this last time, we're gonna have a new system soon.
We said next week. That didn't quite happen.
where the actual winner is picked on stream through a program that we have.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah,
'cause that'd be really.
I've looked into it.
useful.
I just haven't implemented it yet. So that'll be cool. Tune in next time for that. But for now, just say hi in the chat, and we'll see your name, and we'll put it all in a hat and sort of pick someone. And I wanna also say, check your the way that messaging works in Twitch is you get these whispers. So should be in sort of like the bottom right hand corner of your screen. There should be what looks like a text bubble, like from a comic. Click that because that's where your private messages go, and we send a private message to the person that we pick. And up till now, we haven't gotten any responses.
Oh yeah, nobody's.
Yeah,
seen
so
anything yet.
so we've still got the cameras that we've been trying to give away for the past couple of weeks. So check your whispers down there. I think they call them whispers. Check those. And if you see a message from us, get in touch. And that means we've got a camera or a lens or some film for you. So make sure to check that. Especially check it tomorrow. Go on to Twitch and check tomorrow. See if there's a message.
Has anyone made an unfeeling void joke yet? Yeah, I think that was at the very beginning. I think Joe made that.
Yeah, we had a void joke.
Someone's got
right,
it covered.
Right away. Why mirror image in Instagram, Merlin? Hey, first of all, good to see you in here, pal. Thanks for joining the stream. We were doing a live stream with my phone, and when we use the front-facing camera, it mirrors the image. So that's why we had a mirror image on that live thing. Hey, you have a chance to win, and anytime you watch the stream, we usually give something away. So tune in, and we want to give cameras to everyone, really, but I mean we can't
Or film.
economically.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah. So, but anytime you watch and anytime you chat with us, you have a chance to get something. So, how much does the equipment cost to fix cameras? Not much. So you need like a set of screwdrivers. You need in this case, I have a dental pick, which I use for sort of fine adjustment of springs and stuff.
I'm still curious about where you got that.
Yeah,
Where you just find dental pick?
it's a secret.
That's weird.
We have these tweezers. I'll just gloss over that. These rubber stoppers we use to take off certain lens elements and nameplates. If you saw that early in the stream, we use that. We've got some sort of cutters for soldering. We have a soldering iron, magnifying glass. Yeah, soldering iron. I mean,
that's probably the most expensive thing.
Yeah, I think it was like $30. And,
yeah, it's not even that much.
So to answer your question, I mean, you can get everything you need for under $100, and if you want to go cheaper than that, you can probably get most of what you need for under $50. So, but this isn't all like sort of the specialty equipment. If you're like a serious camera repair guy, you're gonna want a shutter timer and all this other stuff that's specialized equipment that we're not so into repairing cameras that we need to take on that expenditure. But for general repairs, yeah, you can do it really cheap.
We got two questions. How about lights or Leica bench testing equipment?
Yeah.
How much is that? How much that is? Or
I have no idea. I have no idea how much that would be. I'm assuming it would be very expensive. But
what is bench testing equipment? Is that?
So I'm assuming he's referring to things that test shutter speed to make sure the shutter is accurate, stuff like that. Probably voltage meters and things like that to test the electronics. But yeah, we're not that hardcore. We're not doing that kind of stuff. So I don't have an answer for how much that costs. But
someone else, exposure therapy, wants to know: do we use JIS drivers? I don't know what that is either.
Yeah, that's like a Japanese industrial standard, I believe it stands for.
Okay.
And that's what all these screws are on these older cameras that came from Japan. They look like the sort of standard Phillips head screws, but they're really a different standard.
Oh, okay.
To answer your question, I don't use those, but that's only because I just haven't gone out and bought them. I would use them if I had them, but at the same time, I haven't experienced any problems. I haven't ruined any screws or threads or anything like that, screw heads, with the screwdrivers that I use. So these are just your typical sort of jeweler's screwdrivers, made by a company called Wiha, based in Germany. They make really high quality stuff, but still sort of affordable. So that's what I use. You know, if I was working on something super rare, like a super rare Japanese camera, some very old, like a I don't know, some sort of low production number Canon from way back, or a Nikon rangefinder, maybe I would spring for the JIS drivers. But for what we're doing, this works fine. If you want to be sort of super precise about it, yeah, you should get the right ones. But yeah, hope that answers your questions.
Yes. Some good information there.
How long's the stream been going now?
We've been on
hour and a half.
What's the time? Why isn't it right there? I don't know actually. I don't know where the.
No, we started at 11:30 or so.
Yeah, so like an hour and a half, I think. It's weird. It's not right there.
Oh, we got a question on Instagram from someone who can't seem to connect through the chat. Good lens option for a Pentax MZ7? That's kind of a difficult question to answer.
What was it?
Good lens option for a Pentax MZ7. So there's a lot of stuff that factors into that decision. Do you want a prime lens? Do you want a zoom lens? Do you do low light shooting? Do you want to do wide angle shooting? So there's a lot of stuff factoring that. I think general rules, or sort of the general way to approach that, determine what type of photos you want to take, and then determine the best lens for those photos. So if you want to do landscapes, or wide angle street photography, or architectural shooting or interior shooting, try to find something that's a wider focal length. 28 millimeter is a good, because it's still sort of bordering on standard. If you want to do everything, a good standard is 45-50, somewhere in there. I know Pentax made some really amazing, maybe 40 millimeter or 43. They had some sort of weird focal length. Might have been 46. It's escaping me right now. So that's a good standard prime. Longer stuff, for portraits. I mean, basic answer to that question, I guess. And if you want to do some zoom, if you want a zoom lens, Pentax made a lot of really great zoom lenses too. I know that's a very vague answer to the person who commented on Instagram. I'm sorry about that, but I'll think about it, and maybe we can chat on Instagram later on down the road. But yeah, all right, guys. I think we're pretty much done doing this for about an hour and a half now, and I just want to thank everyone for coming and hanging out, chatting. It's been awesome to talk to you guys about cameras and photography. Hope you enjoyed the stream and enjoyed watching us repair this Zeiss lens. We'll be back possibly this weekend. We're going to try to do more live streams, because we're trying to get to the next level of Twitch partnership, where you need to have a certain number of streams per every 30 days. So
cool. People saying thanks.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for coming and hanging out. I appreciate it. You guys are the reason we do everything we do, from the stream to the website to Instagram to the camera shop. So I appreciate you guys hanging out and chatting. We'll reach out. Yeah, reach out. Send a direct message to fstopcameras@gmail.com. Oh no, sorry, that was wrong. contact@fstopcameras.com. Or you can get in touch with us through the website. There are some sort of portals there that'll take you to a website. But yeah, contact@fstopcameras.com is my direct email address. So reach out anytime. Happy to chat. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. We're gonna go get some lunch, and we'll catch you. We'll catch you over the weekend, maybe on a live stream. But if not on the weekend, then definitely next Thursday, 1 week from today, and we're gonna repair some more stuff and give some more stuff away. So talk to you soon. Thanks again.
All right.